The title, as you will see, looks like something that perhaps Gordon Brown would have, the British Prime Minister would have come up with. It sounds like, saving the world and so on. But the title is there not so much to refer to something I am doing. I am not changing the way the world learns English. It's more of a historical reference that goes right back to the 1970s and 1980s, and the work of people far greater than I will ever claim to be, such as John Trim and Van Eyck and people in the Council of Europe, who at that time really did change the way we learned English, in so much as they devised a series of statements about what sorts of things one would ideally want to do with the language that one was learning. Until that time, really, we just taught the language. We never asked ourselves the question, what's it for? What is this all about? Why are people learning English, etc.? And the movement that came in the 1970s and 80s was truly revolutionary. It truly changed the world. I thought perhaps the title should be Changed the Way the World Learns English, but then that's not grammatical, so, we have to stick with the ing form. But why am I here now? Well, I'm here now because at this point in time, we're taking another look at that revolution, that thing that changed the way we learned English, that brought in the notional, functional, communicative approaches, etc. And it's time to take another look at it, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today. The hope is that the English Profile Project will be another milestone which will change the way, it says the world learns English, change the way at least that English is learned in large parts of the world. The English Profile Project was set up a few years ago by a number of interested bodies. It comes under the general umbrella of the Council of Europe, which is the sort of name that is guaranteed to send the entire audience to sleep, anything to do with European bureaucracy and Council of Europe, European Union, etc. So I'm not going to go into that. What the English Profile Project is it's different groups who've come together on a long-term research program to understand what this common European framework actually means for English. Everywhere I go in the world now, outside of Europe, Latin America, Asia, even North America, people are talking about the common European framework. Framework of reference is its full title, or KEFR, as some people call it, and it's obviously having a great impact. People are beginning to use it in parts of the world that are very remote and distant from Europe, both in terms of geography and culture and tradition and everything. So it really is important for us to understand what does it really mean? What's it actually mean? So the project sets out to investigate what learner English is really like for different groups of different levels of proficiency. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking this is very much, what is it, the cart before the horse, locking the stable door after the horse has bolted, all those metaphors. And you would be right to a certain extent. That is that we already have the system in place, the common European framework. And as it were, after the event, we're now saying, well, what do those levels really mean? A1, A2, B1, B2. If someone says I'm a B2 learner, what exactly does it mean in hard language terms? What can you do with the language? I can apologize, or I can tell somebody to shut that window that they've been trying to get people to shut since 1975, It will be taking things further, a step further, and asking the question, what repertoire of language do learners have? What can they do with that language? and what should they be doing ideally at the different levels.